Hello and welcome to Castar Reviews. Today we'll be looking at the most controversial entry in the Devil May Cry chronology. So controversial in fact that it isn't actually in the main timeline. DmC Devil May Cry is a reboot of sorts. Same characters, different personalities and motives. It is, and this is important, a reimagining of the Devil May Cry continuity and has nothing to do with the story up to this point. This is the only Western developed Devil May Cry game so far. Lead developer Ninja Theory is headquartered in the UK. This game was actually my introduction to the Devil May Cry series. I downloaded the demo on the Xbox 360 and had a blast playing it. While I was having a fun time, the majority of the Devil May Cry community was most certainly not. They were not fans of a darker story laden in social commentary and characters saying fuck like it was on their word of the day calendar. It was most definitely in the category of, it's different, therefore I hate it. Dante's hair is different, his coat is different, he's no longer half human, and all but 3 characters from previous games have been cut. So this game failed because its hardcore audience never gave it a chance from the start. So this is where I come in. Allow me to show those who haven't played this gem what they've been missing out on. For those that are interested in playing it, it's available on the Xbox 360 and PS3, and a definitive edition came out on Xbox One and PS4 in 2015. It has all the DLC from the original release. I'd recommend the definitive edition since it has a nice uptick in graphics and you have access to all of the game's DLC with no extra purchase. Without further ado, let's get into that plotline. Our plot takes place in Limbo City, a metropolitan area that is ruled in secret by Mundus and his demon cronies. Mundus is the richest man on planet Earth and controls the populace through debt. When you first meet him, he's on the phone extorting the President of the United States. The woman with him is his mistress Lilith, who literally looks like she's made out of plastic. The two talk about Dante, who is the son of a demon father and an angel mother. Mundus wants him dead because his father happens to be Sparta. Sparta was Mundus' blood brother who betrayed him by falling in love with the angel Eva. As a result, Eva had her heart ripped out by Mundus, and Sparta was in prison for eternity. At this point, Dante has no idea of his family history. Speaking of, we catch up with the son of Sparta as he's out macking on ladies at the club. After waking up hungover and naked, he answers the door to another girl. This girl's name is Kat, and she warns him that he's being hunted by a hunter demon. Kat is also a medium, which is why she can talk to Dante in Limbo from the real world. After their conversation, Dante is dragged into Limbo. Dante deals with the hunter, and the demon gives him a hint as to who he might really be.
Game over.
Son of Sparta.
Son of who?
You have been found. You are dead. Just like your
Poor mother. I don't know my mother, but if you're calling me a son of a bitch, you wouldn't be the first.
Kat then takes Dante to the Order, an organization that is trying to break the people of Limbo City from their brainwashing. The leader of the Order is Virgil, who already knows everything he needs to about his parents. He takes Dante to their childhood home, and Dante obtains angelic and demonic weapons from 2 paintings of his parents. After that, Virgil basically reaffirms everything Dante has found out up until this point.
When Mundus learned of Sparta's betrayal, his fury knew no limit. He hunted the lovers down. Eva was murdered by his own hand. And for Sparta, he demanded a more brutal fate. Endless punishment and pain. But even as Eva was destroyed, and Sparta was imprisoned for eternity, each knew that the seed for their revenge had already been sown. Because according to legend, the only beings that can slay a demon king are Nephilim, a hybrid of angel and demon.
The 3 head back to the Order's HQ and make it their mission to kill Mundus. But while close to the Hellgate, Mundus is immortal, so to get him away from the Hellgate, they need to piss him off. The people of Limbo City are kept docile by Virility, the world's most popular soft drink, and obedient by the Raptor News Network, a propaganda machine headed by a discount Bill O'Reilly named Bob Barbas. They decide to hit Virility first, and Kat leads Dante to the mixing room, which is way bigger in Limbo. After descending the mixing room with the help of one of Kat's spells, he arrives in the lair of Virility's secret ingredient.
So you must be the secret ingredient. I'm your prom date, you ugly sack of shit.
Who the fuck are you?
You missed. My name, by the way, is Dante.
Dante, son of Sparta and Eva.
Yeah, But you can call me Dante the Demon Killer. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
You want to kill me? You can't kill me. I'm 1,200 years old.
You don't look a day over 12,000.
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
The succubus is killed and Dante gains another demonic weapon as a result. Virgil later meets up with Kat and Dante at the bridge as they plan to infiltrate Not Fox News. It turns out that the reflection of the Not News Corp building in the water is actually the real headquarters of Raptor News. While in limbo, Dante runs into Phineas, who seems to have lost his mechanical eye. After retrieving it for him, he helps Dante awaken his devil trigger, which is handled a bit differently than previously, so I'll get into that in the gameplay section. Phineas also informs Dante that Mundus has another weakness that Virgil doesn't know about.
You want to hit Mundus hard? This is how. Mundus has power almost beyond limit, but he has one weakness.
He has a weakness.
Yes. His mistress, Lilith.
His weakness is that he loves her?
Mundus? Love? No, my friend. Yet, she has recently become the most important thing in creation to him. This is what I have seen. Lilith, his mistress, carries his child.
With the insider information in hand, Dante confronts Bob Barbas for one of the coolest and most creative boss fights in the entire series. After killing him, Dante acquires yet another weapon. During said creative boss fight, Dante learns that a SWAT team has been sent to the Order's HQ. He runs into Kat, who tells him that Virgil is trapped in limbo. He meets up with Virgil, who needs time to take all of the data from the servers. Yeah, Virgil's a whiz with computers now, just deal with it. Even though Dante and Virgil made it out, Kat was captured by Mundus' forces and tortured. Mundus then sends the Sons of Sparta a video message.
Virgil, I don't know who you are or why you have been stupid enough to attack me. But I know you mean something to this girl. So I suspect this girl means something to you. I also know that you are collaborating with the Nephilim. I want the Nephilim. You want the girl. We trade their lives.
Dante and Virgil say fuck that and decide to kidnap Lilith to gain leverage and rescue Kat. Dante heads out to the Devil's Dalliance, the nightclub from the intro sequence, to hunt down the owner, which happens to be Lilith. After going through a little gauntlet of challenges, you confront and defeat Lilith and Mundus' child. After hearing of Dante's counteroffer, Mundus effectively loses his shit and agrees. As the trade takes place and Kat crosses Lilith, Virgil shoots her, killing both her and her baby. The three escape and head back to the tower. Kat tells the brothers that she was able to hold out and torture for so long because her spirit left her body. With that, her spirit explored Mundus' tower. Also, Mundus doesn't know that Virgil is Nephilim, so the brothers use that to their advantage. They make it to the top of the tower, and Dante finally confronts Mundus.
You know what, Mundus? You're right. It wasn't for mankind, it was for revenge. I gotta tell you, killing your child like that, watching it explode into little wet chunks, hearing you scream like one of your little demon bitches, priceless.
Oh, he is very pissed. After Virgil saves Dante from getting his heart ripped out, Mundus turns into a giant. He's killed after a really easy boss fight, and the world is finally safe from the tyrannical rule of Mundus, until Virgil drops a bombshell.
The path is clear for us to rule.
What did you just say?
As expected, Dante and Virgil have the same sort of showdown as in Devil May Cry 3, and Dante stabs Virgil with rebellion. Virgil survives and escapes, leaving Dante and Kat to try and forge a new life for themselves. The story as a whole is pretty good, but I feel like it's padded at the end. It seems like the missions were spread out as such to meet the arbitrary 20 mission quota. The characters are really well written in this game. Whenever I hear people talking about how the reboot has no personality, I'm always wondering what game they've been playing. One game that truly has what they're talking about is Devil May Cry 2, where Dante is a plank of wood. The themes are certainly darker than previous entries, but I like how it shows demons as truly evil. Also, I think Mundus was better characterized in this game. In Devil May Cry, you only saw Mundus in the last 3 missions and basically took the game's word for it that he was evil. But the reboot proves how evil he is and that he had a very direct role in the disappearance of Sparta and Eva. With that, let's move on to the presentation. DmC Devil May Cry has a vibrant color palette for when you get thrown into limbo, as well as having messages written on the map. Have you ever seen the movie They Live? My favorite mission is the Devil's Dalliance, where you play Not only are the environments awesome and looking, but the soundtrack is kick-ass as well. Ninja Theory licensed out bands Combi Christ and Noisia to write out the OST. It's similar to a traditional Devil May Cry soundtrack, but way more metal. In-game it sounds awesome at hype, but outside the game you might break your headphones with all the screaming. The voice acting is also stellar. Dante once again brings the hilarious pre-fight dialogue from previous games.
Hey Bob, put a spin on this.
My personal view on the terrorists is that they are disgusting, degrading, ghastly, sleazy, purient, and generally nauseating. The worst of them is Dante. The whole world would benefit greatly by his non-existence.
I'm taking you off the air.
You think so? I wouldn't bet on it, you little shit.
In case you haven't noticed yet, the voice talent has changed for this title. While I do have a soft spot for the previous cast, the current voice actors fill the role really well. Although if for any reason you're averse to swearing, I would mute all the cutscenes because these people curse like their lives depended on it. Also, there are literally no weird Resident Evil camera angles, so you don't need to worry about disorienting yourself when going through missions. I would rate the presentation high above every DmC game I've played so far. It feels like the game has a personality and likes to poke fun at itself, especially in the famous mop hair scene.
Not in a million years.
The gameplay has not changed as much, but it most certainly has changed. There's platforming now, which is actually pretty fun. It's definitely better than the awkward platforming in Devil May Cry 1. With the platforming focus, you get 2 grappling hooks. Your angelic grappling hook pulls you towards things, and your demonic grappling hook pulls things towards you. This holds true for the weapons as well. Your angelic weapons, Osiris and Aquila, hit quickly but don't do as much damage. Your demonic weapons, Arbiter and Erex, are slower but hit harder. You also have Ebony and Ivory and the Shotgun Revenant. There's also a third gun named Kablooey, which sucks, don't use it. Switching between Angel and Demon mode is as simple as pushing either the left or right trigger. You don't only use the grappling hooks for platforming, they're also utilized in combat to either pull enemies toward you or vice versa. There's also a dedicated dodge button, which I'm a fan of. This makes things a lot easier and streamlined. There are also demonic and angelic versions of dodges, with the angel side granting multiple dodges at once, and the demonic dodge granting a boost if used at the last second. The style system has also changed a bit. The original release of DmC had it so it was very easy to maximize your style rank and get triple S combos. But in the definitive edition you can enable hardcore mode, which balances the style system and also changes how Devil Trigger behaves. In Devil Trigger normally, enemies fly up for some reason, which I'm not a fan of at all. So in hardcore mode, Devil Trigger behaves like it does in previous games. Let's talk about extra content, shall we? So for starters, you have skins for Dante and his weapons, as well as the DLC pack known as Virgil's Downfall. What this is a 6-mission epilogue showing Virgil's descent into being fully evil. In this mode, Virgil also comes with the classic Virgil skin. Virgil in this mode is very interesting. He doesn't gain any weapons, his angelic and demonic size manifests as different strength sword slashes. His Devil Trigger is basically the doppelganger style system from Devil May Cry 3. There are no styles in this game at all, but that doesn't take away from it, not even a little. Virgil's Downfall is pretty fun, the cutscene art style is interesting, but it is pretty short. Lastly, there's also a concept art gallery where you can see all the proposed redesigns for Dante, Cat, Virgil, and every other character with a speaking role. DmC Devil May Cry is a game that I think never got a chance. People saw the redesigned characters and decided to not go near it, but I believe that was a mistake. This game is great, it's flashy, energetic, and above all, fun. You can't blame someone for trying to put a new spin on an old franchise. In a way, I think that all the DmC fans coming out of the woodwork and discussing this game was maybe a little responsible for the creation of the next game we're looking at, Devil May Cry 5. While the Devil May Cry review series comes to an end next time, I do have a surprise video that we'll be releasing after the DmC 5 review. Thank you for watching this episode of Castar Reviews. Subscribe for more content from me and follow me on Twitter for production updates. See you next time for Devil May Cry 5.